Welcome back to another episode of Warehouse and Operations as a Career. I'm Marty, and today we're going to shine a well-deserved spotlight on a role that might not always get the recognition it deserves, but one that most large warehouses relies on. We're talking about the floor sweeper or scrubber, the man or woman behind that buzzing machine that glides through the aisles after a long shift, preparing the warehouse for the next wave of productivity. This is the associate who wraps up the day with a purpose. And believe me, there's a lot more to their job than just cleaning the floor. Now, if you've worked in a warehouse environment, you've probably heard the familiar hum of that ride-on or push-behind scrubber making its rounds towards the end of the shift. It's almost like a signal. It tells you the day is coming to a close. But this role isn't about appearance or a shiny floor for just looks. The sweeper-scrubber operator is often the final quality control point, an unsung hero focused on safety, cleanliness, and setting up the next team for success. Let's talk about what they actually do for a minute. This position, as all positions really, will vary from facility to facility, but here's a pretty universal list of their responsibilities. First up, we'll be operating the floor sweeping and scrubbing equipment, both the walk-behind and ride-on types, to remove debris, dust, liquid, and residue from floors. And it's our job to inspect the facility floor for hazards, such as broken pallets, loose shrink wrap, fallen products, or other trip and slip risk. We'll need to clean up spills that might have occurred during shift operations. Think of things like oil, water, broken product, or even battery fluid in some facilities. I mention battery fluids because just this week I had to do a little boil-over cleanup. Well, not really boil-over, I guess, more like overfill with some baking soda myself. And I'd like to take this moment to point out that you need to be trained on or how to clean up and dispose of any chemicals before touching them, period. I lost my place. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Anyway, it'll be our job to empty and refill tanks with clean water and cleaning solutions, dispose of all that dirty water in the proper designated areas. And we need to clean and inspect the machine. The bristles, squeegees, the water tanks, ensuring it's operational and ready for the next shift. And we'll need to be really careful with those squeegee blades. Those little strips of rubber are expensive. Oh, and there's always going to be paperwork. And paperwork is important. We'll need to document or report safety hazards such as broken dock plates, what else? Loose floor tiles, cracks in the concrete, or equipment leaking on the warehouse floor. This person has their eyes on everything, and that gives them quite a unique perspective. Here's something I learned early in my career. How a shift ends has a direct impact on how the next one's going to begin. If you walk into a warehouse that's cluttered, sticky, and scattered, you immediately feel rushed and frustrated. Your pace is going to be off. You're reacting instead of performing. And anytime you're reacting, you're losing productivity. But on the other hand, when you walk into a freshly cleaned reset warehouse, it feels like you're part of something organized. It sends a message. We care about this place. We care about the people who work here. We're ready to succeed. Well, that's how I felt after climbing down off of my old tenant scrubber a number of years ago. As many of you know, I was in the food service distribution arena for about 24 years. There's a term that I loved, setting the plate. Ever heard of it? It comes from the culinary world. In a professional kitchen, setting the plate means prepping everything for the next cook. It's a sign of pride and respect, making sure your workstation is clean, your tools are ready, and your ingredients are stocked so the next shift can come in and do their job right. In the warehouse, setting the plate means doing your part to prepare the environment for success. You know, things like clearing the aisles, wrapping leftover pallets, disposing of trash and debris, things like plugging in equipment, sweeping under the racks, and reporting anything that's broken or unsafe. And at the heart of that culture is our sweeper-scrubber operator. Think about this. The sweeper scrubber goes everywhere. They touch almost every inch of the warehouse floor. That makes them the last set of eyes before the next shift comes in. They notice things that others could miss. You know, that forgotten pallet in receiving that's been sitting there for hours. The oil leak near door 12. A busted case of yogurt in the corner of the cooler. And that loose dock plate up front. They're not just cleaning, they're assessing, preventing, and protecting. I've always thought of it as a bit of a safety role as well. A clean floor reduces, slip and trip hazards, getting rid of debris that causes damage to wheels on jacks and forklifts, obstructions that slow down productivity, and in a food production arena, foreign materials that could contaminate food-grade products. In food storage or cold storage environments, this job is critical. Sanitation isn't just a nice-to-have task, it's a regulatory necessity. I've seen entire trucks delayed due to unsanitary floor conditions. And I've seen accidents occur because a driver hit a patch of spilled product that should have been flagged hours earlier. This role is on the front lines of injury prevention. The best floor scrubber operators that I've worked with understood their value. They knew their role was about more than just cleanliness. They were a part of the rhythm and the flow of the warehouse operation. This position works closely with almost every department as they wrap up their task, like forklift drivers to avoid traffic and congestion. Loaders to clean docks after trucks depart. Inventory teams to alert about product being out of place. They were trusted. When a supervisor needed an end-of-day walkthrough, they'd often check in with the scrubber operator. Things like, how's the floor? Anything we need to address? Same with the safety department. They'll check in to get our final thoughts. I've got to be honest, though, this isn't the most glamorous job in the building. It's dirty, it's physical, and it's repetitive. But here's what separates a good warehouse from a great one. In great warehouses, every role is respected. The scrubber operator is valued. They're listened to and supported. They're seen as part of the team, not someone just doing the dirty work. And for all you young leads and supervisors out there, when you give someone ownership over a task, something amazing happens. They take pride in their work. They go that extra mile for you. They become the person that you can count on. Once I had a young associate tell me, I'm just the sweeper, and I stopped him right there. I explained to him that you're the final defense line before our product hits the dock. You're the first person who notices a problem before it's going to get out of hand. You're the reason the next shift can walk into a clean and safe environment. Don't ever say you're just the sweeper. Because truthfully, without this role, things can fall apart. And here's the kicker. This job is often a stepping stone. I've seen sweepers move into things like inventory control because they know the floor layout better than anyone. Safety teams, they've got an eye for detail. Maintenance departments, even shift leads as well. If you're listening and working this role right now, know this. Your job is valuable and can absolutely be a launching pad into more advanced positions. Let me leave you with a few quick takeaways or thoughts that I had when I was working the scrubber. Always walk the area first. Identify obstacles, debris, or spills before getting started. I learned this the hard way. You'll get tired of climbing up and down off the thing. Don't rush. Speeding through the job leaves streaks and misses some of the yucky stuff. Maintain your machine. A dirty squeegee or clogged filter makes the job harder and a lot less effective. And remember to report issues immediately. You're the eyes on the floor. Your feedback matters. Take pride in your work. You're contributing to the success of the shift. The order selectors and forklift operators will love you for a job well done. And for you supervisors, recognize the importance and value of the role. Celebrate a well-cleaned floor and safe handoff. It'll contribute to your productivity and throughput numbers. Give your operators feedback and support. Ask scrubbers what they're seeing out there. Rotate training. Let others learn this task. It builds respect and teamwork. You can pair it with responsibility. Include end-of-shift checklist and safety reporting. Promote from within. Keep your eye on your scrubber operators. Many may have leadership potentials. When we talk about setting the plate for the next shift, we're really talking about respect, professionalism, and teamwork. A clean floor might seem like a small thing, but in our world where the doors have to get opened and closed, space is limited, and safety is everything, it's a big deal. So to all the floor sweeper scrubber operators out there, I'm saying thank you. You're not just cleaning up the mess, you're setting the stage for the success of the next team. You're closing out the shift with dignity and care, and you're making it possible for others to walk into a workspace that they can take pride in. And that, my friends, is what being part of a true operation is all about. Until next week, stay safe, stay sharp, and don't forget to set the plate.